Well, still to come on Saturday in America, the healing power of prayer. Joanne Moody describes the miracle moment that cured years of chronic pain. Plus, the Massachusetts state auditor, she's a Democrat, and she revealed millions in public assistance fraud. She's now suing the state legislature, some of her former colleagues, over their refusal to comply with an audit. A Minnesota state representative says she found thousands of errors in the voter rolls. What did she find? And Nate Friedman takes us inside the liberal protests we have seen across the nation. He has been on the ground. But first, this Fox News alert, the Pima County Sheriff's Office confirming this morning, no arrests, no one in custody. And that comes after last night's police operation. Now, that operation was connected to the Guthrie case. They confirmed that. But again, no arrests, no one in custody this hour. Former U.S. Attorney Ari Redbird is with me now. Ari, we spoke last week and a lot has happened. What do you make of the fact that there is this search on the property, you need the warrant, you have probable cause there, but no arrests, no one in custody?
This is a really extraordinary case. And I think what we've seen over the last week or so is really the FBI, the greatest law enforcement agency really in the world, swarming on Arizona and bringing every possible resource to bear. When you talk about updates, really extraordinary to see those images a few days ago taken from a disabled Nest camera, right? When you think about how they're leveraging technology, how they're leveraging all the tools that they have, but the reality is this case gets harder and harder every day and really more extraordinary.
So, Ari, our viewers were fascinated last week by what I think you gave was the best explanation of cryptocurrency and how it works. There have been some developments there. We were talking about a ransom note last week, and it doesn't seem like much happened there, but there was activity in that account, not millions, but there was some activity in that account of crypto exchange. And then there was a second letter demanding precisely one crypto coin, one cryptocurrency. Nothing happened there. But I bring this up because I want to ask you, since there was this crypto deposit in that initial account, what happens then? Take me through what the FBI does.
Absolutely. And just to be really clear, when a cryptocurrency address is in a case, it provides a really important investigative tool for law enforcement. And what they're able to do is track every transaction on the Bitcoin blockchain, which is a traceable, trackable, immutable, meaning forever public ledger. So when a payment is made in a case like this, law enforcement is immediately tracking and tracing the flow of funds. Where are they coming from? Where are they going? But really the key is to track and trace those funds to a cryptocurrency exchange, which is essentially a financial institution, a bank on a blockchain. Because that bank, that exchange, will have the underlying user information, the know your customer, possibly a name, an email address used to set up the account, a phone number. And that's when you can use all the other tools in your investigative toolbox. You can send a subpoena to an email provider to get that underlying information, or maybe see their emails, a phone number, a phone provider. Maybe you can triangulate location, right, by using cell tower data. So tracing and tracking on the blockchain is often the way you get that investigative lead. And that's what law enforcement is trying to do right now in this case.
So your years of experience looking at this and transactions like this, I'm asking for your gut instinct here. All of these letters coming into TMZ, do you think there was anything to them, or are these people just trying to latch onto a story that's getting quite a bit of coverage?
It's really hard to say, and possibly both, right? I think that my understanding is the second letter, or the letter asking for one Bitcoin, the law enforcement actually acted on and did not necessarily connect directly to this case. The first letter, I think, is really harder to know. I can say that they're using absolutely every tool. And I don't know, someday, hopefully this case will turn out okay and Nancy will be safe. And maybe we'll look back on this and say, hey, this was the first really, really high profile case that was solved by technology, whether it was blockchain intelligence tools like TRM, whether it was this Nest Google camera where they got these images. And I think we'll really see, but I can tell you that the FBI is not only using all the old school investigative techniques they've used before, but they're also really, really leaning into technology.
For sure, and it was an extraordinary moment this week. I mean, I was live on the air and my phone lights up and it's FBI Director Kash Patel out with a post with these images that they recovered from this outdoor camera. And I immediately thought, Ari, do they have images from the indoor camera? I mean, what's your over-under on whether the FBI has those images? Because that would be quite a clue to go off of.
It took my breath away. And I'm someone, I spent about 11 years as a federal prosecutor. I did counterterrorism cases and other. When I saw that video of a camera that had been not only disabled, but apparently didn't have the video service part of it, I was blown away by the what is capable from law enforcement working with the private sector. And I think that's really what's so important. And when I talk about this case, maybe that we'll look back on, the private sector has all the data today. And the law enforcement has all of the authorities. And the challenge is, how can we work really closely together to solve a case like this? And this may be the most high-profile example we've ever had of a case where the public and private sectors are working hand in hand with that data and the authorities to solve this. So on the question of the indoor camera, I have no idea. What I can say is that they're using absolutely every investigative tool they have to run this down.
It is extraordinary, and people don't realize it's not as simple as looking at the Ring cam on your phone. This was finding a needle in a haystack, and they found it. Ari Redberg, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.